Chiefs Kingdom, we've got a developing story that just won't go away. Kansas City's first-round left tackle, Josh Simmons, remains absent, and today we finally heard from the very top. Owner Clark Hunt has addressed it, and Andy Reid is holding his line, leaving everyone asking the same question: what's really going on? I'm not here to fan wild rumors. I'm here to walk you through what we know, what it means on the field, and how the Chiefs can keep winning while protecting Patrick Mahomes' blindside. If you care about the road back to the Super Bowl and this push to 5,000 subs, you're in the right place. Stay locked in, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly how Kansas City can navigate the storm, what the coaches are signaling, and why the AFC picture could tilt our way if we play this right. Let's talk ball. Here's the timeline. Simmons opened the season as the starting left tackle and looked every bit the long-term answer. Then, out of nowhere, he's out for personal reasons and hasn't been in the building. The team's language around it has been consistent. It's not injury-related, it's personal, and they're not putting a timeline on it. Clark Hunt finally spoke on the situation, but his message was measured. He respected Simmons' privacy and kept details close, signaling that football is secondary when real life shows up. That tone matters. It sets the franchise standard and tells the locker room this will be handled carefully and professionally. Meanwhile, Andy Reid has been pressed repeatedly and has doubled down on the same stance. Nothing more to add. Questions should move along, and football operations, through Brett Veach and the staff, will handle the roster. That tells us two things. First, the team will support the player. Second, they're not going to let this become a daily distraction. While all of this has swirled, Kansas City still had to play. Jalen Moore has stepped in at left tackle. The offense has adapted with quicker timing, more defined pocket points, and a few extra bodies helping on chip and slide responsibilities. It's not perfect, but it's workable, especially with Mahomes' pocket feel and escape angles. The other backdrop is the locker room sentiment. Teammates have been supportive and, publicly, very tight-lipped. That's how you know the message is unified from ownership to the head coach to the captains. It doesn't fix protection overnight, but it stabilizes the environment so the football plan can take shape. Let's get into the football. When you lose your starting left tackle, your entire pass game menu changes. Not because you panic, but because every concept needs a realistic timing window. 5-step or 7-step drops with long developing routes. You still call them, but you call them smarter, with formation and protection answers baked in. Expect more quick game and rhythm throws on early downs. RPOs, stick, speed outs, slants, these are not just easy buttons. They're body blows that make a defense play honest. When you stack successful quicks, you force edge rushers to throttle down and play the lane instead of just pinning their ears back at the left edge. The tight end room becomes your best friend. Chipping from an attached tight end, motioning to influence alignments, or using a dual release where the tight end chips then releases late gives the tackle a clean first strike. Noah Gray and the rest of that group can be the silent solution. They won't fill up the stat sheet, but they'll buy Mahomes a half-second that turns into explosives downfield. Inside, Creed Humphrey and Joe Thuney are your stabilizers. Slide the protection toward the replacement tackle on obvious pass downs, and trust Creed to sort the interior games. If the defense overloads that side, you punish it with screens back to Rashee Rice or Isaiah Pacheco. It's chess, not checkers, and Andy Reid has been playing this game for decades. The run game also shifts. We'll see more boundary runs away from the stress point, with split zone and pinpull concepts that control the edge without asking the left tackle to win on an island every snap. When Pacheco hits the crease with that violent downhill style, defensive ends stop sprinting upfield and start peeking, exactly what you want before dialing up a shot play. There's also the Mahomes factor. He's a master at resetting the launch point, half rolls, sprint outs, and those subtle two-step climbs inside the B-gap. That doesn't just mitigate pressure, it punishes undisciplined rushers. Give him a defined edge and a layered route, and he turns chaos into off-schedule explosives, the kind that break a game open in a heartbeat. Another effect is on personnel groupings. Don't be surprised if 12 personnel usage bumps up in high-leverage passing downs. A second tight end helps protection and invites base defense, which can create mismatches for Rice, Hollywood Brown, or whoever's featured that week. You control the chessboard by deciding which bodies the defense must play. So how do the Chiefs maximize production while Simmons is away? First, the weekly plan becomes matchup first, not system first. You identify the opponent's best rusher, move the launch point away from him, and keep him guessing with cadence and tempo. When he guesses wrong twice, he becomes cautious. That's your opening to hit the deep intermediate game. Second, formation clustering and condensed splits. These compress the pass rush lanes and make chips more efficient. A condensed 3-by-1 look with the back weak can invite pressure, but it also sets up your best pressure beaters, back shoulders, crossers, and those pivots that Mahomes throws with timing and touch. Third, the screen and misdirection package. Not just the classic tunnel and running back screens, tight end screens, slip screens off play action, and the old Andy Reid middle screen to a guard or tackle release if you really want to get wild. The point isn't gadgetry. It's to make rushers pay for being over-aggressive on that left flank. Fourth, red zone translation. Protection stress shows up most in the red area where the field shrinks and windows close. To offset that, you increase motion at the snap, use jet action to force the end to widen, and sprint the pocket to the short side. That gives Mahomes a 3-level read on the move and reduces the time the tackle must survive. Fifth, build a weekly hot menu the quarterback loves. If the defense brings a 5-man pressure with simulated looks at that left edge, Mahomes already knows his immediate outlet. A quarterback who trusts the hot answers will hold the ball less and play faster, which is the single best protection in football. Finally, you blend in selective max protect shots. It might be only 3 or 4 calls in a game, but when you keep 8 in and send 2 verticals with a deep over, you force the defense to prove it can cover downfield for the extra beat. Hit one of those and the pass rush loses its nerve for the next quarter. Let's talk about the emotion of this. Chiefs Kingdom cares about wins, yes, but we also care about our guys. When a player steps away for personal reasons, the right response is support. That's been the tone from the building, and it should be the tone from the stands and the timeline. The media will keep asking because that's the job. But a consistent message from Clark Hunt and Andy Reid protects the player while keeping the football operation steady. It reduces noise, and honestly, it helps the rest of the roster lock in on their assignments instead of refreshing their phones. That's leadership from the top. What I appreciate is how the veteran core has handled it. Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones. When they keep things in-house and stress, next man up, it turns a potential circus into a 1-week plan. That matters in October because you win seeds in the fall and you cash them in January. For fans, the best thing we can do is hold perspective. We all love the game, but life shows up for everyone. The tone you set now will be remembered when Simmons walks back into that huddle. Chiefs Kingdom has always been a family. This is when it shows. Now, big picture. The AFC is a weekly knife fight. You've got Baltimore's defense, Cincinnati heating up, Buffalo lurking, and divisional games that can swing tiebreakers you won't think about again until seeding day. That means protecting Mahomes, even imperfectly, becomes the difference between a 1-seed chase and a wild card gauntlet. Divisionally, Raiders' week is never a throwaway. Edge pressure is their identity, and they love to test your tackles with games and late movement. Survive first down, stay out of third and long, and you take away their fastball. Beat your rival in October, and you're building the scaffolding for January. If the Chiefs weather this stretch without giving up a flood of negative plays, they'll bank wins and keep pace for home field. And once Simmons returns, it's like adding a premium starter at the trade deadline. That's how you steal the AFC back, one puzzle piece at a time. So where do we land tonight? Clark Hunt's message is clear and steady. Andy Reid's stance hasn't budged. The organization is aligned, the locker room is together, and the coaching staff has a plan that works in the real world of NFL Sundays. On offense, it's about call sequencing. Stack quick game early, hit the screen when they overplay, then launch a calculated shot after a long drive. On defense, keep handing Mahomes extra possessions and short fields. Complementary football covers for a lot, especially when the left edge is a work in progress. And for Josh Simmons, whenever he's ready, the door will be open. Until then, it's Jalen Moore's job to hold the fort, the tight end's job to be the quiet heroes, and Patrick Mahomes' job, like always, to be the best player on the planet. Kansas City can absolutely win while this gets sorted. That's not optimism. That's the blueprint. Alright, Chiefs Kingdom, your turn. How confident are you in the protection plan while Simmons is out? What do you want to see more of from Andy Reid on offense the next 2 weeks? Drop your takes in the comments and join the road to 5,000 subs here on Kansas City Chiefs Today. If you felt this breakdown, hammer that like, subscribe for daily Chiefs updates, and I'll see you in the next one.